What if golf's golden boy isn't as squeaky clean as we've been led to believe? Scottie Scheffler, the humble, soft-spoken Texan who became the face of PGA Tour loyalty, has long been painted as the man who never even blinked at LIV Golf's money. While Phil Mickelson, Brooks Koepka, and Dustin Johnson jumped ship for hundreds of millions, Scheffler stood firm, the tour's perfect ambassador. But what if that wasn't the whole truth? Whispers have started to surface of a secret $5 million side deal with LIV Golf, a deal that never made headlines, never appeared in the press, and allegedly vanished as quickly as it began. Was Scheffler secretly offered money just to keep the door open? And if so, what does that say about the one player fans thought was untouchable? Because in golf, loyalty is priceless until someone puts a price on it. From the moment LIV Golf began luring away stars with jaw-dropping contracts, Scottie Scheffler became the PGA Tour's shining example of loyalty. While headlines screamed about Dustin Johnson's 9-figure payday or Phil Mickelson's controversial leap, Scheffler stayed put, and fans loved him for it. He wasn't the loudest personality, nor the flashiest dresser. He was the opposite: calm, steady, grounded. The kind of guy who spent more time with his wife and friends than chasing flashy endorsement deals or flying private for the sake of Instagram posts. To many, Scheffler symbolized the purity of golf, but behind that image was another layer. The PGA Tour needed him to stay. He was young, he was #1 in the world, and he gave the tour legitimacy during a time when LIV's checkbook seemed impossible to resist. In the battle for golf's soul, Scheffler wasn't just a player. He was the tour's poster child. That's why the whispers of a secret deal cut so deep, because if he had been tempted, it meant no one was immune. And as it turns out, those whispers had to start somewhere. The first hints didn't come from ESPN or Golf Channel. They started in the shadows: fan forums, late-night Twitter threads, and podcasts that thrive on golf gossip. Buried in speculation about which player LIV might poach next, one name kept popping up: Scottie Scheffler. At first, nobody believed it. Scheffler was the one guy who seemed untouchable. But the timing raised eyebrows. Rumors of quiet meetings surfaced right when LIV's war chest was at its peak, the same period when Brooks Koepka and Cameron Smith stunned fans by defecting. The story went like this: while Scheffler publicly distanced himself from LIV, his representatives were allegedly testing the waters behind the scenes. The whispers claimed that he never seriously considered joining, but he was smart enough to listen. After all, turning down life-changing money without at least hearing the pitch would have been foolish. And that's when the $5 million figure first surfaced, a supposed side payment to keep the lines of communication open. Not a contract, not an obligation, just a secret retainer that would vanish if it ever came to light. Most people dismissed it as conspiracy talk, but as the months rolled on, the rumor didn't die. In fact, it only grew louder. According to the whispers, LIV didn't just want Scottie Scheffler on their roster. They wanted to remove the possibility of him becoming the PGA's forever champion. The solution? A side deal unlike anything golf had seen before. Instead of locking him into a contract like they did with Brooks or Bryson, LIV allegedly floated a $5 million insurance payment. No long-term commitment, no requirement to tee it up in their events, designed to keep him listening. Think of it as buying time. If Scheffler ever wavered, LIV wanted to make sure the door was already cracked open. And for Scheffler, it was portrayed as a no-risk proposition. And the craziest part? Some fans believed they saw signs of it. Because right after the alleged deal, strange things began to happen in Scheffler's orbit. For months, the $5 million rumor floated in the golf underground, with nothing concrete behind it. But then came the so-called leaks. Anonymous accounts began posting what they claimed were screenshots of draft contracts and email chains between LIV negotiators and someone tied to Scheffler's camp. One screenshot even showed the phrase "non-binding retainer agreement," with a number that conveniently added up to $5 million. It spread fast. For a few days, golf Twitter was on fire. Fans dissected font sizes, email signatures, and even metadata from blurry PDF images. Some swore it was proof that Scheffler had at least entertained the idea. And then, everything vanished. Posts deleted, accounts suspended, links broken. Within a week, all that was left were fragments, Reddit threads referencing screenshots that no longer existed. The digital paper trail had been scrubbed so clean that it looked deliberate. That disappearance only fueled the fire. Had Scheffler's lawyer stepped in? Did LIV shut it down to protect their own reputation? Or was it all a manufactured hoax that collapsed under scrutiny? Whatever the truth was, one thing became clear. If there was nothing to hide, why did the evidence disappear overnight? Behind closed doors, PGA Tour officials weren't deaf to the noise. While nothing was ever confirmed, insiders hinted that whispers of Scheffler's alleged conversations with LIV did reach headquarters, and the timing couldn't have been more suspicious. Not long after the rumors surfaced, the PGA Tour announced dramatic increases to prize purses and expanded bonus pools for top players. Officially, these were meant to keep the tour competitive against LIV's money, but some believe Scheffler himself had played a role in pushing the issue. The theory? He had seen LIV's numbers firsthand, and quietly told PGA brass that if they didn't step up, loyalty wouldn't last forever, even for him. Other players noticed too. Some veterans allegedly muttered that the Golden Boy wasn't as innocent as the media made him out to be. A few even suggested that the tour protected Scheffler's image at all costs, fearing the PR nightmare if their most wholesome star was caught negotiating on the side. But the whispers didn't stay in boardrooms. Soon, they spilled into locker rooms, where jealousy, envy, and suspicion brewed just beneath the surface. And that's when fans began asking the question no one wanted to touch. Did Scheffler actually take the money? This is where the rumor turns from background noise into a full-blown divide. On one side, you had fans who refused to believe a word of it. To them, Scottie Scheffler was the definition of clean-cut, a devoted husband, a quiet superstar. A guy more likely to be at Bible study was nothing more than jealous rivals and bored fans spinning fiction. But the other side, they weren't so sure. They pointed to sudden changes that didn't quite add up, like whispers of Scheffler upgrading his travel arrangements, including rumors of a fractional private jet share, something he'd always downplayed in interviews, or stories of new luxury practice setups back in Texas that seemed to appear almost overnight. To skeptics, these were signs of hidden money. After all, PGA prize checks alone, even with his wins, didn't explain everything. And $5 million slipping quietly into the picture would make a lot of sense. No hard proof, no receipts, just patterns. Patterns that left fans debating whether loyalty was truly unshakable, or whether even golf's cleanest star had a number that could sway him. And if he did take the deal, the bigger question was this: why would LIV spend millions on someone who never even left the tour? If the whispers were true, it wouldn't just be about Scottie Scheffler pocketing $5 million. It would be about the very foundation of the PGA Tour's fight against LIV Golf. Scheffler has been the poster child of loyalty, the guy who stood firm while others chased the bag. But if it turned out that he quietly accepted money from LIV, even without switching sides, it would shatter the moral high ground the PGA had leaned on. Because how could they point fingers at Brooks, Bryson, or Phil if their own champion was taking checks under the table? It would prove that money talks louder than loyalty, no matter how polished the image. And the ripple effects wouldn't stop there. If Scheffler had a side deal, who else might have had one? Did Rory? Did Spieth? Was the entire tour just one big game of negotiations behind the scenes, while fans were sold a story of loyalty and tradition? That's why this rumor matters. It isn't just about one golfer. It's about whether the fight between the PGA and LIV was ever about principles at all, or if it was always about money, hidden behind a thin layer of PR spin. And that leaves one last, uncomfortable question. At the end of the day, no contract has ever surfaced. No bank transfers, no undeniable proof, just whispers, deleted screenshots, and a trail of speculation that refuses to die. Scottie Scheffler remains, at least publicly, the PGA Tour's golden boy, loyal, humble, and untouchable. But the rumor of a $5 million LIV side deal lingers like a shadow. A what if the fans can't stop replaying in their minds. Maybe it was all smoke with no fire. Maybe rivals planted the story to tarnish his spotless image. Or maybe, just maybe, the truth was buried before it could ever see the light of day. Because in the world of professional golf, money has a way of rewriting the script. And if even Scottie Scheffler could be tempted, then no one, not even the face of the PGA Tour, was truly beyond LIV's reach. So the question remains, do you believe Scheffler walked away untouched, or was $5 million just too much for anyone to ignore?